This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's start. Yeah, today we'll start with interactive classical reporting. Interactive classical reporting. So yesterday we have seen control break events. Inside loop and loop, we have seen four different events. Like we have at first event, at a new event, at the end of event, and what at last event. Okay, and we also discussed what on change of event. Right now, let us start with interactive classical reporting. So far, we were doing static reporting. Okay, we are doing what? Static reporting. Static reporting means what? Suppose if you take this previous example. Okay, so in this example, yeah, when I execute this program, we are getting the report. Okay, we are getting the report. We are getting only one level of report. Okay, this is called as what? Static reporting. The when we execute the report, we are getting some list. Only one list we are getting. Okay, this is nothing but called as what? Static reporting. Means once a list is displayed, okay, we have to use this list for what? Analysis purpose. Now my requirement is what? When I do interaction on this list, based on the user interaction, the appropriate data has to be displayed in the next list. That is called as what? Interactive reporting. Okay, static reporting means only one level of reporting. Interactive reporting means once a list is displayed, when the user interacts with the list, depending on the interaction, the appropriate data, the corresponding data should be displayed in the next list. That is nothing but called as what? Interactive reporting. So it is something like this. So we have static reporting and what? Interactive reporting. So in case of static reporting, when we execute our ABAP program, ABAP report, we may get the selection screen where the user can input some values. It can be a single value or it can be range of what values. On executing this selection screen, the report will be displayed. So only one level of report we are displaying here. If you observe the interactive reporting, when I execute my ABAP program, I'll get the selection screen. Again here, the user will input the value. Then on executing the selection screen, we'll get the report. Okay, so the first level of report, whatever we are getting, that report, that list, we call it as what? Basic list. That list we call it as what? Basic list. The index of this list is what? 0. Once a user interacts with this list, I'll get the second level of report. Up to we can generate overall what? 21 levels of what? Report. So the from the second list onwards, we call it as what? Secondary list. We can generate up to 20 secondary lists. Overall, 21 levels we can generate. One is basic list. The first list which is displayed, we call it as basic list, and the rest of the list we call it as what? Secondary list. Okay, the index of the basic list is 0 and the index of the secondary list is what? 1 to 20. Okay, what is the purpose of this index? To identify in which list the data is displayed. To identify the list uniquely, we have to refer to the index of that particular list. So overall, in interactive classical reporting, we can generate up to 21 levels of reports, or we can say 21 lists. The first list is called as basic list. The index of that is 0, and the rest of the 20 lists we call it as secondary list, and the index of the secondary list ranges from 1 to 20. Okay, so this is nothing but called as interactive classical reporting. Okay, One second, please. Okay. Yeah. So this is interactive classical reporting. Right. So see once again. In the interactive reporting, once a selection screen is displayed to the user, what the user will do in the selection screen, he will input some values. Okay, he will input some values, right? On executing the selection screen, we'll get the list. That list is called as a basic list. Okay, nothing but list processing screen. On the basic list, when I do the interaction, I'll get the next list. That we call it as secondary list one. Okay, so overall we can generate what 21 list. One is basic list, and the rest of the 20 lists are called as secondary list. Okay, one basic list plus 20 second list. Basic list, it is generated based on the user input in what selection screen. Okay, this basic list is generated based on user input in selection screen. And if you take secondary list, it ranges from what? The index ranges from what? 1 to 20. It is generated based on the user interaction on the list. Okay, so let us see one example to understand this concept. Right. So let us take some tables. Like I'll take some what K11 table, and we have what VBAK table, and we have VBAP table. What is the purpose of KN1 table? Customer master data. Okay, what is the purpose of VBAK table? Sales document header data. Okay, VBAP table, sales document item data. Sales document header data and sales document what? Item data. What is the relationship between the table? Okay, each customer, okay, each customer of what kn1 table, okay, can contain what 0 or 1 or more what sales orders in what VBAK table. Okay, this is a relationship between what KN1 table and what VBAK table. Each customer of KN1 table can contain 0 or 1 or more sales orders in VBAK table. Then next what each sales order of VBAK table can contain what 0 or 1 or more sales items in what VBAP table. Okay, this is the relationship between VBAK table and VBAP table. I repeat, each customer of KN1 table can contain 0 or 1 or more sales orders in VBAK table, and each sales order of VBAK table can contain 0 or 1 or more sales items in VBAP table. So let me take an example here. Suppose we in SC11, I'm in SC11, this is my KN1 table. Okay, what is the primary key field here? Customer number. So if I go to the contents, yeah, we have some 9,135 customers. Okay, so I'll take a customer with number what 1000. Do we have this customer? Yes, we have this customer 1000. I want to check how many sales orders this customer has got in VBAK table. So let me open VBAK table. So if you go to VBAK table, sales document header table, what is a common field between this KN1 table and VBAK table? We have what? Customer number. Okay, so what is this? KN1 of what? Customer number is equal to what? VBAK of what? Customer number. And here, what is the common field? these two tables has got VBLN. Okay, VBAK.VBL equal to VBAP.VBL. This is a common logical related fields between these tables. Okay, so I'm in KN1 table. This is the customer number 1000. Okay, we have this customer. Okay, now in VBAK table also we have a field called as what? Customer number. We have a field called as customer number. What is this field here? Sold to party. Here also the field name is KNR. It need not be same, but this field also has got what? Same name as that of what? KN1 Kunnar. What is the purpose of this sold to party? To which customer the sales order belongs? Okay. So here, okay, so I want to check how many sales orders this customer has got. Which customer? 1000. So I'll go to VBAK table. I'll go to what? Contents. Overall, we have many sales orders. We have 10,724 sales orders. But I am interested to check what? Sales orders of which customer? Customer number 1000. So in the VBAK table also we have Kunnar. So if I go to contents, let me filter based on what? Specific customer. So here it is showing only sales document and net value. How do we change the selection screen? Already we know. Settings, fields for selection. Yeah, VBLN is there. Okay, NETWR is selected. Let me also select what? Customer number. I'll search for customer number. Done. I'll select this. Then sold to party. I'll give what? 1000 number of entries. What is that? 156 sales orders. 156 sales orders. So, what is the understanding here? So, example. Okay, what is the customer number? What is the field? Kunnar. Of which table? K11 table. What is the customer number we have considered? 1000. It is character of 10. So, this is customer number is 1000. Okay, so this customer, okay, customer of care 1000 contains what? Contains what? 156 sales orders. In which table? In VBAK table. Okay, 156 sales orders in what? VBAK table. Okay, so if I 156, so it is going to show me the 156 sales orders of this particular customer. Okay, and each sales order might contain what? N number of sales items in what? VBAP table. What is the common field between VBAK and VBAP? VBLN. Okay, so let me open VBAP, which is sales document item data. So let me take one of the sales order. What is the sales order here? 5045 of which table? VBAK table. Let me check how many sales items are there. Okay, this is my VBLN. So if I go to contents, what is the sales document I'm interested? 5045. How many entries are there? Two entries are there. Okay, so what is the understanding? So what is that? Sales order, sales order, what is that? Veblen of what? VBAK table. What is that sales order? Again, it is character of 10. Character of 10, 5045 contains what? Two what? Sales items in what? VBAP table. Understood? So this customer 1000 of KN1 table contains what? 156 sales orders in what? VBAK table. And out of 156 sales orders, I have considered one sales order. What is this? 5045. Okay, so this 5045 sales order contains how many sales items? Two sales items. Okay, that is the relationship. Similarly, in the KN1 table, let me check whether I am having any customer with 1003. Okay, yeah, this customer is available in what? KN1 table. Okay, 1003 customer is available in what? KN1 table. I want to check whether this customer has got any sales orders. Where you have to check in the VBAK table. So if I go to VBAK table, What is the in the VBAK table? What is the common field between KNA1 and VBAK? Again, Kunar, KUNR. So here I'll give the sold to party is what 1003. Number of entries. How many are there? Zero. So this customer doesn't have any sales orders in what VBAK table. Okay, so example 2. Okay, this is only to understand the relationship between the tables. What is this? Customer number Kunnar of which table? KN1 table. What is the customer I have considered? 1003. 1003. Okay, contains what? Zero sales orders. Contains zero sales orders. No sales orders. In what? VBAK tables. Contains, instead of saying zero, I'll say it contains no sales orders in VBA. That's what I'm saying. Each customer and KNN table can contain zero or one or more sales orders. Okay, right. This is example 3, you assume. Right. Let me take example 2. Okay, in example 2, yeah. In KNN table, I'll take 1001. Do you have this customer number with 1001? Yes, we have this customer. Let me check how many sales orders are there in VBAK table. 1001 I'll give here also. How many sales orders? 181 sales orders. So what is the meaning here? Again, same. Customer number. What is the customer number? 1001 contains what? 181 sales orders in what? VBAK table. Okay. So this is VBAK table. It has got 181 sales orders. When I execute, it will show me the 181 sales orders. Done. Okay. I'll take randomly one of the sales order. What is that? 5162 I'll take 5162. Let me check how many sales items are there. Where the sales items are there in VBAP table 5162 na. I'll go to VBAP table. I'll give 5162. How many items are there? Two items are there. Okay. Suppose in VBAK table I'll take 4971. 4971 is a sales order in VBAK table. Let me check how many are there here. 4971 in items. Only what? One sales items. Understood? So I may have one or more sales items. So what is that here? Sales order. What is the sales order I have taken from the VBAK table? Something what? 4971. 4971 contains what? One sales item. Contain one sales items in what? VBAP table. So this is the relationship between what? Three tables. KN1, VBAK and what? VBAP. One second. Right. Okay. So keeping these three tables in mind, let us do this requirement. Okay. So this is my requirement. This is my interactive classical reporting. What is the requirement? Whenever I run my program, I should get a selection screen where I have to read the range of what? Customer numbers. I have to read the range of customer numbers from the user. Whenever I execute, I should display the customer data from which table? KN1 table. This first list, we call it as what? Basic list. The first list, the first output screen which is shown to the user, we call it as what? Basic list. We call it as basic list. Okay. The index of that basic list is 0. What data I have to display in this basic list? Customer data from KN1 table. What are the fields? Like customer number, land one, and what? Name one. Okay. Now my requirement is whenever I interact with this customer number, suppose I'll double click on 101. Okay, so I have to check whether this interacted customer has got any sales orders in which table? VBAK table. If you have the sales orders, you have to get the sales orders and display it in the next list. This next list we call it as what? Secondary list. What is the index of this? 1. What I am displaying is sales orders of the customer. What is that customer? 101. Assume that these are the sales orders of that particular customer. Again, when I double click on this sales order, each sales order might contain n number of sales items. Na? That sales items I have to display it in the next list. This is called a secondary list 2. What is the index of this? 2. So the item data is displayed from VBAP table. Whenever I double click on this material number, I should display one standard transaction what MM03. So we have one standard SAP transaction called as MM03, which is responsible for displaying the material data. So whatever the material I interacted here, that material should come and sit in this particular field in the transaction what MM03. So like this, as I told you at the beginning of the session, we can generate up to a 21 list. We can generate up to 21 lists. The first list we call it as basic list, and the rest of the 20 list we call it as secondary list. So this is the overall requirement. This is the overall requirement. Okay. So any questions on this, please ask. This is a requirement. Any questions, please ask me. I'm going very slow today. The reason is some of you have sent some mail. Okay, I think you people are not practicing. Some of you, I'm saying, please practice from the beginning. Please practice from the beginning. Okay, if you directly practice a particular concept without knowing the previous concept, you'll not understand. So please practice from the beginning. Okay, refer to the recorded session. I'm trying to share the recordings on a daily basis. I promise that weekly I share only 2 recordings, but I'm sharing it on the same day. So please practice. Okay, if you're not strong in basics, you cannot become perfect in other modules. Okay, so please practice from the beginning. Right. So this is my overall requirement. Right. So let us focus on this part now. What is this? Selection screen. So already we know how to generate the selection screen. So let me do it. 51. Type of program is executable program. I'll save it in the local object. Right. Now, so far in the last few examples, what I did is I wrote everything in the single program. I wrote everything in the same report program. Everything in the sense I declared all the variables in the same report program. I declared all the internal tables, work areas in the same report program. I wrote the subroutines. I defined the subroutines in the same report program. But generally, what we will do in the projects is we'll try to modularize. Instead of writing everything in the same report, we'll try to modularize by creating include programs. Means you'll create one include for declaring variables, for declaring global variables, internal tables, and work areas. Then you'll take another include for storing all your subroutines. Then you'll take another include for storing all your module definition. So we'll try to modularize the program so that the maintenance will be easy. In future, if I have to declare any variable, I can directly go to that include program. I can declare the variable. Okay, if I have to modify any subroutine logic, I can directly go to that include, check for that subroutine and make the changes. So the maintenance cost would be little bit decreased. Okay, so I'll try to follow that convention. So what is my initial requirement? I want to generate the selection screen. So I have to declare a variable. How do you declare the selection screen? First, we'll declare a variable referring to the database field. Then you'll declare the select option referring referring to that particular variable. So what I'll do now is, let's see here. Already we know how to include the include programs. Okay, so I'll say include Z645 program 51 underscore variable declaration. Okay, I'm trying to provide a meaningful include program. Include program name underscore variable declaration. So if I double click on this, it is saying that include so and so does not exist. Do you want to create the object? Yes. What is the type of program? Type of program is what? Include program. Let me save it. I'll save it in the local object. Done. So what I'll do inside this include program, I'll try to declare all the variable. So let me declare the select option. What is that I want? I want to read the range of customer numbers. I'll say data v underscore customer number type kn1 hyphen customer number. Then I'll say select options. Select options. Already we know all these things. S1 underscore customer number for v underscore customer number. I'll say default. I'll give the default as something 1002 1010 default 1000 to 1010. Okay, so let me save it, check for the syntax errors. I don't have any errors. Activate this. Done. Go back to your report program, activate this. Done. So what I did in the report program, I have included one include. In this include, I declare the select option. Nothing but a variable declaration. Let me generate the selection text. I'll choose go to text element selection text. I'll give something customer number range. Done. So when I execute, yes, we got the selection screen where I can input the range of what customers. Okay, done. Now when I click on the execute button, I should get what data? Customer data from what? KN1 table. So I'm going to get multiple customers now because we are going to compare based on the range. So I require internal table. In that internal table, what fields are declared in my output screen, what fields I have to display? Customer number, country, and what? Customer name. So three fields. So keeping these three fields in mind, I'll declare the internal table where I'll declare again in the same include program. I'll double click on this. Inside this include, I'll create the types and all those things. Types, begin of ty underscore. I'll say customers. Okay, what are the fields you want? Customer number type, kn1 hyphen customer number. Then what else? Land one type, kn1 hyphen land one. Next, name one type, kn1 hyphen name one. End of ty underscore what customers. Done. I'll declare the internal table ty underscore customers and I'll say w underscore customer type ty underscore what customers. Activate your internal, sorry, activate this include program, go back. Now what I have to do, when I execute the program, I got the selection screen. On the selection screen, when I click on the execute button, what is the event triggered? Already we know start of selection. So I'll handle the event what? Start of selection. Events are always handled where? At the end of the program. So in the start of selection, what is my requirement? I want to get the customer data. So I can write the select query here, but I want to modularize my program. So I'll say perform get what customers. So I need to define the subroutine. Okay. So far we used to define the subroutine within the same program. Now I want to store all the subroutines in a separate include program. So what I'll do, I'll double click on this. I'll double click on the subroutine. It is saying that subroutine does not exist. Create the object. Yes. Where you want to create, whether you want to use this include for storing the subroutine, or whether you want to store it in the main program, or whether you want to create a new include. I will go for new include. So what I'll do for that new include, the include name is proposed by SAP itself. Let me propose my own name. I'll remove this. I'll say something subroutine definitions, my own meaningful include name I'm giving. What is the include name I'm giving? Z645 program 51 underscore subroutine definition. So I'll choose this new include, continue. What is saying in the program 51 in the main program, an include statement will be inserted. Yes. Okay, continue. Done. So let me define the what subroutine. Okay, I'll remove all these things here. I'll define the subroutine. What is that? Select customer number, land one, name one, from what? KN1 table into table. What is the internal table? T underscore what? Customers. T underscore customers where what? Customer number in What is the select option name? SO underscore Kunal. So I'm getting the customer data from KN1 table, comparing with my select option range. Let me save it, check for the syntax error, activate this. Done. Go back to the main program. Where this include got inserted at the end, but always will include all the includes at the beginning. So let me remove it from here. I'll keep it here. Okay. So all the includes I'll include at the top only. Done. So this include I am using it for declaring global variables. This include I'll be using it for defining the subroutines. Done. So the whenever I click on the execute button, the event triggered is what? Start of selection. We are getting the customer's data into the internal table. Then after executing the subroutine, control goes to the next statement. Here I'll say if T underscore customers is not initial, if it is not blank. Okay. So here I'll say get customer data, customers data based on what? Based on what? Select option range. Next, if it is not initial, what I have to do? I need to display the customer data. I need to display the customer data. I'll write it in a subroutine. Perform what? Perform what? Display customers. Perform display customers. Else, if the if condition is failed, means if the internal table is blank, I'll give a message. What is this? No customers. Okay, no customers. Okay, instead of giving the message directly here, instead of giving the message directly here, you can maintain this message in the message class. Okay, so I'll come back to that later on. Already we know that, but still no customers. Okay, type what? I. End for if is what? End if. So I need to define this subroutine. Let me double click on the subroutine. Subroutine does not exist. Create the object. Yes. Where you want to create? Already I am having one include for subroutines now. I'll choose that. Z645 program 51 underscore subroutine definition is include. Continue. Yeah, here I'll display it. So how to display the data from the internal table? We need to loop and display. So loop at what? T underscore customers into work area w underscore what? Customers. Then what? End loop. Then I'll say write w underscore customers hyphen what? Customer number. Land one. And then what? Name one. Done. Check it. No syntax error. Activate this. Go back. Activate this. Done. So when I execute, I got the selection screen. Whenever I click on the execute button on the selection screen, the event triggered is start of selection. We are getting the customer data into the internal table. If the internal table is not blank, I am calling the subroutine, which is responsible for looping the internal table and displaying the data. So when I execute, yes, I got the data. This is my, this list is called as what? Basic list. The first list which is shown to the user is called a basic list. What is the index of this? 0. So here I got the title. I got the title. I want to remove this title. This title I gave at the time of creating the program. I want to remove this title. So how do you remove it? Here, as part of my report keyword, here I'll say what? No standard page heading. No standard page heading will suppress the title. So when I execute, done, I got the data. I got the data. Now I want to provide some column headings so that the user can understand which column represents what. Okay, I want to generate the column headings, some meaningful column headings. So what I'll do here, I'm displaying the data. So somewhere before the loop, I'll try to give the headings. So I'll say write what? Customer number. Okay. Then I'll say what? Country key. Then I'll say customer name. Okay. So let me save it, check it, no errors, done. Activate this. When I execute, yeah, I got the heading. I got the heading, but they are not properly aligned. They are not properly aligned. Okay, this customer number, this should be properly aligned. So what I'll do, when I'm displaying these headings, I'll reserve some width for these headings. What I'll do for this customer number, I'll give the width as something 20. The default width is 10, character of 10. I'm reserving heading as what 20. For country key, I'll reserve the heading as 12. Okay, and for customer name, I'll reserve the heading as something 35, something like this. Okay, or I'll reserve the heading as something 30. Okay, let me save it, check it, activate. So when I execute, okay, so I got something like this: customer number, country key, and customer name. This data also should be properly aligned with what headings. Okay, so when I'm displaying the data from the work area, it will take the default width for Kunnar. So if you take the Kunnar, what is the width in KNM1 table? Character of 10. Land one is character of 3. Name one is what? Character of 35. So what I'll do here? Okay, this I'll give it as 40 for our convenience. So here also I'll give the headings. I'll give the width for what? The data also. So here also I'll do 20. Understood? If you don't give the width, it will take the default width from the table. Okay, land one I'll give something 12, and for this one I'll give something what 40. Okay, let me check it now. When I execute, done. It is little bit properly aligned. Okay, then I want to just give some what horizontal line to separate the data and what heading, to separate the data and heading, right? I gave that, fine. Okay, then what else? I want to give some color for that. So here I'll say format color 3, and I'll switch off the color, format color off for headings. When I execute, okay, I got something like this. Okay, done. Then what I want a vertical line between the columns. I want the vertical line between the column data. So what I'll do here after every field in the loop only, I will use a system field called a psi v line, psi vertical line, psi v line, psi vertical line. So let me check whether I'll get the vertical line or not. Yes, we are getting the vertical line. Understood? We are getting the vertical line. Okay, so since I gave the vertical line, again it is not little, the alignment is disturbed slightly. So here also I'll say U line. So what I'll do, since it is slightly disturbed, I'll just, where it is disturbed, in the heading. In the heading, what is the width I give for customer 20? Na? I'll just try to increase that width. I'll make this as 22 so that everything would be aligned properly. Okay, yeah, country key also. I gave 12 here. Let me just slightly, or I'll give this as 21. This I'll give it as something what 14, so that it is properly aligned. Okay, done. Then I want to give some color for my what data also. So what I'll do here, before the loop I'll say format color 7, and here also I'll say something format color off. I'm switching off the color. So when I execute here, then we got some data. Okay, right? So this is my basic list. This is my basic list, and for this basic list I want to generate some heading. I want to generate some heading for the basic list. So to generate heading for the basic list, we need to handle a event called as top of page. So what I'll do in the main program, the report program, I will handle a event called as what top of page. Top of page is a event triggered in the basic list. Top of page is a event triggered in the basic list. We can handle that event to associate the heading for what basic list. So I'll say right. Okay, I want to give the what label from 20th position. From 20th position, I'll give some what heading. What is this? Customer master data. Customer master data. So when I execute, done. I got the heading customer master data. Okay, I want to give some color for that. So here I'll say something color something one. Okay, let me check. When I execute, yeah, I got some heading for that. Understood? So like this, you'll give some cosmetic appearance for that. Okay, done. So this is my basic list. So my basic list is displayed. Okay. So any questions up to this part? So top of page is the event triggered in what? Basic list to generate the heading. So I'm generating the heading. Now what is the next requirement? Once a basic list is displayed, once a basic list is displayed, I'll double click on what? Customer number. I'll double click on the customer number. When I double click on the customer number, I have to identify that customer number which the user has double clicked, and that for that customer you have to get the sales orders. If you have the sales orders, display that sales orders in the next list, that we call it a second list one. So this is my basic list. Whenever I double click on any list value, whenever I double click on any list value, SAP will trigger one event. SAP will trigger one event called as what? At line selection. So let me handle a event called as what? At line selection. So I'll handle a event at line selection. Then I'll say right, selected line is, there is a system field called as sy-li scl. Sy-li scl is a system field which will store the content of the selected line. So when I execute, done. See here, I'll double click on this pharma AG. I'll double click on the pharma AG. Done. What I got? I got the entire line content na? 1007, that vertical line, D, again vertical line. Sorry, for my AG. So what is that? What is the understanding? SY-LISL is a system field which will store the content of the entire selected line. Whether I double click anywhere, suppose if I double click on 1003, entire line content, I'll get it. Okay, I'll get it. So it is understood that this event is triggered. When this event is triggered, whenever the user interacts with the list value, whenever the user interacts with the list value, SAP triggers a event called as what? At line selection, and the content of that selected line is captured in the system field what? SY-LISL. Done. Right? So, but our requirement is, I'm not bothered about the entire line content. Okay, whether I double click on the customer name, I have to get only the customer number, because based on this customer number only I have to check whether my sales orders are available or not. Whether I double click on country also, I should get only the corresponding, I have to retrieve only the corresponding customer number. So what I'll do, this will contain the entire line. Okay, entire line, which is a combination of what? Customer number plus vertical line plus country plus vertical line plus customer name. So from this system field I have to extract the customer number part. Where is the customer number in that part? As a first entry only now, as the first entry only. Okay, so how much of width you reserve for that customer number data? 20. By default it is 10 only, but when I'm displaying, I'm reserving what? 20 spaces. So the first 20 spaces of that particular line is what? Customer number. The first 20 spaces, if you're not giving the width, the first 10 spaces will be the customer number. So what I'll do here is, here, yeah, I'm not interested in the line content. So what I'll do, yeah, here, okay, you are doing the interaction on what? Basic list. Na? You are doing the interaction on what? Basic list. Okay, so here I have to identify the customer number, get the sales orders and display. Na? What is the index of the next available list? One. Na? The index of the next available list is what? The index of the next secondary list is what? One only, na? So what I have to do? I need to compare with the system field. We have a system field called as what? LSIND, which will store the index of what? Which will store the index of what? Next list. In the outline selection event, SY-LSIND will store the index of what? Secondary list. That is the next available list. Contains index of what? Next available secondary list. So here we are doing the interaction in what? Basic list. What is the index of this? Always 0. Okay, when I do the interaction, I should get the date in the next list. What is the index of the next available list? Always 1. Na? So here I'll say case so and so. When what? 1. Do so and so. End case. So when 1, what I have to do now? Extract what? Extract customer number. Extract customer number content from what? System field what? SY-, SY- what? LISCL. What does it contain? Selected line content. It contains what? Selected line content. So I have to extract the customer number from that part. So see the technique. So already somewhere in my include, I declared a variable v underscore kunnar type what? KN1 hyphen kunnar. In KN1 table, what is the width of kunnar? 10 only, na? So this also will have what? Character of 10. So see what I'll do here. I'll say I'll say what? Clear v underscore customer number. So I'll say v underscore customer number is equal to what is the field which stores the entire line? SY-, what? LISCL plus the index of the string starts from what? 0. 0 of what? 10. 0 of what? Not 10, sorry, 20. Because I reserved how much width here? I reserved what? 20 spaces for this customer number. That's why I'm extracting the first 20 characters. That will come and sit in what? V underscore Kunnar. But V underscore Kunnar is character of 10 only. So zeros will be suppressed here. Okay, done. Now let me check here. Right, I'll say what? Selected customer is what? V underscore Kunnar. That's all. Okay, let me check it now. Save, check for the syntax, no errors, done, execute. Yeah. I'll double click on this US partner. What is the corresponding customer number? 1004. Na? Let me double click. Yes, what I got? Selected customer is 1004. I'll double click on 1002 directly. I got what? 1002. So let me debug this. So whenever we do the interaction, what is the event triggered? At line selection. So I'll put the breakpoint, execute this, done. Observe this carefully. Okay. The first event trigger is top of page. Then I'm not interested with this. Yeah. I'll double click on Omega Soft. Okay. What is the corresponding customer 1002? I'll double click on this. Done. Oh, sorry. I'll put the breakpoint in that line selection event. So when I execute, I'll double click on Omega Soft. Yeah. Okay, so what is the value? We have done the interaction in what? Basic list. What is the index of that basic list? Always 0. What is the index of the next available list? 1. That is stored in what system field? SYF and LSIND. Na? What is the value of SYF LSIND? 1. It will store the index of what? Next available list. Okay, F5 when condition is satisfied. I am clearing this variable. Yeah, now if you see SYF and LISCL, what does it contain? It contains the entire content. Na? It contains a combination of customer number, vertical line, country, vertical line, again the name. So what I am doing here from this string, this is called as offset logic. Extracting the portion of the string is called as what? Offset logic. So what I am doing from this particular string, SYF and LSL, starting from the index 0. The index of the string always starts from 0. 0 indicate this portion here. Extract how many characters? 20 characters. Actually, customer is 10 only, but when I displayed, I reserved 20 spaces. Na? So I got 20 spaces. So this from year to year is 20 spaces. That part will come and sit in what? V underscore Kunnar. This is nothing but substring. Extracting the portion of the string, nothing but substring. So from the main string so and so, starting from the index 0, extract how many characters? 20 characters. That will come and sit in which variable? V underscore Kunnar. So that's what I am displaying. Selected customer is what? V underscore Kunnar. Yes, I got the V underscore Kunnar. But I should not display the customer number. What I have to do? So my selected customer is available in which variable now? V underscore Kunnar. Based on that V underscore Kunnar, I have to get what? Sales orders. Okay. So any questions, please ask me. Any questions? So based on this customer number, I have to get the sales orders from which table? VBAK table. What is the common field between KNA1 table and VBAK table? Kunnar. So I need to compare with that Kunnar in VBAK table, get the sales orders and display that sales orders in the next list. Okay, that is what the rest of the requirement. So we have seen two events, top of page event and what? Outline selection. Top of page event is always triggered in the basic list. And this event we can handle to associate heading for what? Top of page area in the basic list. And outline selection event is triggered when the user interacts with any list value. Outline selection event is triggered whenever the user interacts with any of the list value. It can be either basic list, it can be either secondary list. Right? So rest of the code I'll do it tomorrow. Anyway, we require another class to complete this entire part. I'll discuss this tomorrow. And after discussing that, yeah, first let me complete this. Any questions? Chalo then. So I'll wind up for today. We'll continue tomorrow.